Hello everyone, Ethelr here, and welcome to something a little bit different than we've done in the past. So I've been playing some Space Engineers recently, and they just did a pretty major update, so I thought I'd, do a bit of a... I may do some more of this, so this will be, I guess, a series introduction. There's a hacker drone over there. We'll get to that later. We'll be fine for now. As you can, my game is still loading up a little bit here. As you can see, the major update makes the game look really pretty good. It does introduce a few, performance issues, although overall, I would say the changes made the game run better than it did beforehand. Excluding a few sort of more specific situations in which I hope they'll patch soon. Particularly PvP battles aren't very good. Even if it's just one other person on the server, they don't tend to go real well. But anyway, so today's going to be a bit of a base and ship tour, and a bit of a sort of, I guess, series introduction. So I'm using a variety of mods. We'll start with the mods. I'm using quite a variety of mods on the server. Maybe the most important... Shut up, hacker drone. Maybe the most important tool... the most important mod that I have is this right here. It's kind of known in the Space Engineers community as Bob. I'm not entirely sure why, to be honest with you, but its actual name is a Build and Repair Nanobot System. And it has a variety of functions, including the mentioned ones, build and repair. It can grind down your ships when you tell it to. It can grind down neutral and hostile and unowned ships. As well. It just makes it a really convenient tool for construction. As you can see, I've kind of set up a dry dock here for shipbuilding. And I've got a larger ship, more heavily armed and whatnot ship here. I'll go over that one later. But this is one I grabbed off the workshop and edited in a creative world for myself just to make a few changes, make it, just a little more useful in a modded world as opposed to just a straight vanilla ship. As you can see, the turrets are modded. I'll talk about those in a minute. So this is a smaller ship. It's a little bit faster. It turns a little more quickly. Just a little more maneuverable than the other one. So that's the purpose of this one. And I guess the next thing to talk about is the stuff you see popping up on my screen, like that hacker drone and the unknown signal. That's maybe the most the most impactful mod that I have. And that's called the Corruption PvE mod. And that mod adds a whole variety of drones and stations, and such things like that. And they'll attack you. It's basically just something to give you, make the game a little more interesting. And so, what that does is it sends a variety of drones at you, and the mod author is in a bit of an arms race, rather, with a YouTuber called Wasted Space, who's doing a survival series with a couple of other people. And he live streams it periodically, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what day the live stream happens, or I would tell you. But anyway, he does a live stream with a couple of other YouTubers and just people in general that hop on periodically, and he usually has a main crew of 3. But anyway, so he's kind of in an arms race with this. In an arms race with this mod developer. So the mod developer is creating all sorts of new drone types and kind of editing what they can do. And the mod scales really nicely based on what mods you have, at least in my experience. So I've got a lot of really powerful mods. Now, none of the mods that I'm using in this game are totally unbalanced. There are a couple of mods on the workshop, weapon and other, utility mods as well as weapon mods that are just totally unbalanced. And in my opinion, none of the mods... You can debate the nanobot mod. In my opinion, that one's not unbalanced because of the limitations it has and the requirements that you do a lot of the manual, setting up construction stuff and building the parts. But anyway, most of the mods on here are pretty well balanced, and the corruption mod really seems to take that into account. Now, like I said, I've got some powerful mods on here. I've got shield generators. As you can see, shield generators. So my base can take quite a bit of damage before it actually even takes any damage, real damage. My ship has shield generators. This thing will have shield generators. Once it's finished, I'll have to detach it. But anyway, so maybe that's another one of the big mods. And then I've got a variety of weapon mods. These turrets here, and that one, and that one. Those two are from a mod, and these are from a mod along with another turret, just a generic laser turret. And these two, this one is more well balanced in my opinion than this one. This one doesn't do a lot of damage and takes a lot of resources. It's called the Directed Energy I think it's Directed Energy Warfare is the mod name. And then this one is just called Energy Weapons. This one has a laser and a plasma turret. The laser turret doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but it's pretty cheap. And the thing about this mod, the Energy Weapons mod, is that it takes energy, it doesn't take any ammo at all, and they're really cheap to build. Now that thing you see in the background, that's the nanobots. That's not like the base and the ship shooting at each other. Anyway, so that mod takes very limited resources and is really useful. Then I've got a whole variety of weapon mods. This one's probably the easiest to show you the most of them. So these turrets, these turrets here, oop, a little bit of a slowdown there. Something just spawned. Yes, it did. A hunter drone. Sorry, squirrel. And then this coil gun. And then that one again, like the ones at the front. And then this battleship cannon. Are all from a mod called Mexpex Warfare Industries. Now, it's a really, absolutely fantastic weapon mod for this game. It adds a whole variety of weapons, you know, point defense, anti-fighter, anti-missile, and then, you know, big, humongous anti-capital ship weapons like that. And then the next mod that I'm using the most as far as weapons go is this. These are turbo lasers. This is the Star Wars Weapons Pack, I think is what it's called. And it adds a variety of, you know, green and red and blue and all sorts of turbo lasers. It's got, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's got hand weapons for Star Wars stuff as well. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't used any of them. As you can see, I've got a bunch of those the directed energy warfare weapons up on here just as, like, quick and dirty base defense, because they're not as cheap as the other ones, and they don't do as much damage, but they're still pretty cheap, and I didn't have the other mod installed yet, or maybe it was broken, I'm not sure. So I had to slap something up on here real quick in addition to the shield generators to help defend it. My, the first ship that I came off that planet in got destroyed, so I had to build a base real quick. Now, none of this I have cheated. This is a survival world. None of this is cheated in. None of all the resources are mined. You know, there's nothing. Oh, interesting. There's nothing in here that's, you know, been overly messed with cheat-wise. I've had a few, you know, crashes and stuff like that where I've had to, like, restore the server or something like that. But I haven't, like, spawned any resources in or pasted any blocks or anything like that. It's all done manually. So then, I've got oxygen. Oh, hello. As you can see, the new bloom effects look really good. Oh, this is another part of that mod, is energy capacitors. They're basically batteries. They help with powering those turrets. I don't know what that's supposed to go to. It doesn't do anything. Here are the shield generators. I think that's about it for the kind of obvious mods that I'm using right now. Let's see here. This is the, you know, production room, assemblers, and refineries. Pretty big operation here. There's the sort of backup base reactor. The main reactors are actually under the base. You probably saw them earlier. Then the other big thing that I'm running on here isn't a mod, but a script. It's called Taladin's Inventory Management. Or Manager, I'm not 100% sure on that. And it's running my refineries for me, it's managing cargo for me, it's running a couple of the assemblers. I have a couple of them on manual so I can build the, like the turbo laser, ammo. There are two different mods for this. One uses the resources. There are two different Star Wars weapons mods, sorry. One uses the resources you find in any world. Just the generic uranium, platinum, iron, silicon, magnesium, etc., etc. And then there's one that adds a resource called Tabana gas. The problem is that one conflicts with one of the mods that I'm using right now. So I'm using the generic, arguably less balanced turbo laser mod. So that's basically it. We'll swing over here and talk about that in just a second. This is the production wing of the base from the outside here. I did windows. I don't really have to, because of shields, I decided not to design the base in a like super defensible manner. I'm debating moving to the moon because this is a bit hard to defend. And it's possible for the drones to get through the shields. I mean, the shields aren't all powerful, even though I've got a ton of them on the base because the base has a lot of power. Ooh, something else just spawned. That you see in the upper right hand corner the performance issues. I don't know when that was added, but hasn't always been in the game, and it's really nice because I can see when, what is going on with my game that's causing it to stutter. But anyway, so that's basically all of the base and that ship. This is one, I don't remember what this one's called. It's just something off the workshop. You can probably find it. This one's just a quick and dirty mining ship. It looks pretty ugly. But then the other kind of major mod that I have installed are these mining drills, beam drills. They're very useful. They're extremely expensive, so they're pretty well balanced, but they're super powerful. They mine a lot of resources very quickly. Which is why I think they're balanced, because they're extremely expensive, but if you can get, 4 of them on here is a lot of resources. Like, that's almost as much resources as it costs to build that ship. That's, I think that's balanced for the power that they have. But anyway, so they're just, mining lasers. They do what you'd expect. Shoot lasers into the asteroids and mine resources. Nothing super special. I'm, working on another mining ship that uses the MexPex heavy mining drill, which is like a mining drill the size of that ship, just about. That will kind of help with things. But, you know what? They've updated the bloom and the weapons and everything. Let's go have a poke at that drone. Huh? I think that drone might be a large ship drone, actually. Ooh, why is there no oxygen? Because I vented the ship. Okay, we'll give it a second here to refill. It has to re-oxygenate an extremely large area of the ship. Oh yeah, we should do a ship tour. That drone's still a ways away, so we've got some time. We'll go back outside here real quick. Give that a second to pressurize. Okay, so, another mod that I have that I just thought of now. All of the planets that you see, excluding that one, and there's one more planet and I can't remember where it is right now. Anyway, 4 of the 5 planets even in this map are, we can see that drone. That means it's pretty big. Anyway, I think 3 or 4 of the 5 planets in this map are modded planets. There's a desert planet, like a Tartarus, an ice planet. There are maybe 6 planets in here. I'm not sure. Anyway, so there are a whole variety of planets. Now this ship, originally I had an idea, and it turned into I need to get something built that's heavily armed and large quickly. So pardon the ugly ship. I'm not super creative in the sense that I can do all sorts of fancy ship designs like you see on the workshop, like that one. I tend to build kind of space bricks or space penises. That's about it. This is oops. That happens. Let's hope the game doesn't freak out. Okay, we're good. Sometimes the game freaks out when you die and doesn't let you respawn. Anyway. Conveniently, all my stuff is right here. We need that, or that, or that. Okay. So, that ship is kind of just a quick and dirty, like... Well, like I said, it started out with a design that I had in mind. And that design ended up kind of devolving into, I just need to get something with a bunch of guns on it going quickly. And so that's where... Light's not on. That's where this comes from. So it's got all that stuff on it. The back area is like... Where did that drone go? That's not good. That means it's invisible. Or did it despawn? I don't think it despawned. Let's go. We'll go investigate here. Anyway. So, the back of the ship has reactors and shield generators. It's a maze. It's just a maze. I mean, you can see I started with some ideas of how to do the ship, and then I ended up just kind of needing to throw a bunch of parts on here because I needed it done, and so it's okay. It's not fantastic, but it does what I built it to do, which is shoot things. So, let's go. Oh, another mod that I have. The tiered thruster mod pack. Super pack, I think is what it's called. And let's turn our antenna on here. Now, I believe currently most of our turrets are off. We're gonna go ahead and turn them off to save some energy here. Well, I don't see where that drone went, so I guess we'll go blow up this military transporter and then end the episode. So as you can see the new J.J. Abrams Sunbloom there, courtesy of the new update. So you'll get to see the shield mod in action here, which is something that I think is, if you're going to run a modded game, it's definitely worth it. Because so much of the stuff can scale up. And it's really convenient to have the ability to defend yourself. And Space Engineer's light armor isn't, well, heavy armor even, isn't super useful a lot of the time. Like, sometimes it's just kind of pointless. And so, having an extra layer of defense, even if you only install one, light shield generator, or, 2, or like one heavy shield generator, it's still, in my opinion, worthwhile. And the shield generators are not inexpensive. I mean, that's another mod that I would say is relatively well balanced for how much it does. So yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. So, here's what turbo lasers look like. Quite a bit of bloom, huh? Okay, so apologies for that beeping noise. That's my my commute program. But I wanted to go ahead and turn my microphone off. Or, I wanted to go ahead and go into spectator cam, and it's the same button as spectator cam. So the turbo lasers, as you can tell, are not particularly accurate, but they're pretty decent. There seems to be some sort of graphic glitch with them right now. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and approach to get more of our weapons in range. So I think this has heavy armor on it. So you can see how battles look pretty darn good now. Now I would try and salvage this, but my salvage ship got blown up. So I don't really have any way to salvage this. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of let it go. And we're going to go ahead and end the video there, I think. We'll head back to base here, and you can get one... Oh yeah, we can jump. We have jump drives on this thing, don't we? Go ahead and set it to the asteroid base. We'll need to put it on the bar. Jump. Jump! And this will put us somewhere approximately close to the base. Theoretically, anyway. And the base is about 1.5 kilometers behind us. So, this is the new Space Engineers update, and this is what I've been doing. Now this is not a new survival world. I've been playing in this survival world for at least a month, maybe 2, or even... I think I started on this one in December. So it's certainly been going for a while. The corruption mod's been, getting updated. One thing to note is the newest graphical update did break skyboxes right now. So if you can't get a world to load, it's because your skybox is broken. Just a note there for you. But anyway, so this is Space Engineers, and this is what I have been doing in Space Engineers, and that's not lined up properly. So there might be more episodes of this. We'll see. But thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.